Okay, we're recording. We've started.
Awesome.
Do we have intro music? I don't know. Hello. Welcome to. Is this the fifth episode or the fourth? This is the fifth episode of the podcast.
Alrighty. Glad
Uh,
to be a part of it.
Today we are joined with Isaac Merlin. So yeah. um. So what do you like to do for like a hobby or something?
Well, I'm kind of odd. I have a bunch of hobbies. So, starting out with, I guess my original hobby used to be woodworking. So that's what I did in my off time, and that's what I still like to do now.
What kind of things did you make in woodworking?
So it varies from topic to topic. So I think I started out making birdhouses and advanced from that. I started out making birdhouses and then went on to benches, and then I started in the lathe work and started making bowls and pens. So that's been fun. So been progressing a little bit.
Cool. Like, were they full size benches? Those are. That's cool.
Right. So they were just like they call them shaker benches. So they probably could fit 3 people on it sitting down pretty comfortably. So
Wow.
it was a lot of fun making that one.
Cat?
That is a cat. That's our cat. That's our newest cat. We've had him for a while.
How many cats do you have?
Well, we have every time one, either if they run away or they die, we get a new one. So this is the next one.
Oh.
We're glad to have him. His name's Franklin.
Cool. So, other than woodworking,
Okay.
like, what else? What's like your thing like currently that you do a lot?
Okay, so currently that I do a lot is flying. I've gotten into being a pilot, and hopefully I'll be able to get to the airline someday.
Yeah. So, what is it like? What are the requirements to do that?
Okay, so you have all different types of pilot certificates. You have your private pilot, your commercial pilot, instrument rating, multi-engine rating, your ATP, and then you can qualify for the airlines. So for my current pilot's license, I just have a private pilot's license, and that requires at a minimum of 35 flight hours of training, and I believe it's 40 hours of ground training. So they have you taking lots of tests, lots of oral exams to get you prepared for the actual, I guess they call it the check ride.
Isn't oral stuff like dentists?
Yeah, well, oral in that sense is like a conversation between 2 people. Like the examiner will ask you questions and you'll have to answer based on what he asks.
Okay. Usually when I hear oral, it's like, oh, it's a dentist. You gotta have good teeth to fly.
Yeah. Well, you do have to have, that's the other thing, you have to have good eyesight. So you have to, the other thing before you become a pilot is you have to pass your medical exam. And that just makes sure that you have the right physical fitness to be able to fly the plane and stay awake when you're up in the air.
Yeah. Uh, like I've seen people who have never like flown a plane like be in a
Yeah.
like one of those really small ones that go really fast. Uh, and they just come out and they're like super sick and they're like
Yeah.
super
That's
dizzy.
happened to me a couple. Well, it happened to me the first time. I can't say the first time. Once I started my training, that happened to me. It was a really bumpy day and the wind was very turbulent. So I got a little, I guess you call it, I don't know what you call sickness up in the air.
Sickness.
You have seasickness and other things, but I don't know what you would call it up there. I guess it's motion sickness. That's what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what kind of planes do you fly?
Well, I started out flying something called a Diamond DA-20. It's a little 2-seater airplane with a hatch that comes down. It's a low wing as well, so it's a little bit easier to see things in front of you. That one I flew for about 3 months maybe, and then I asked to get out of it because it was just way too small. It got really hot because there's not really any air conditioning in there, so I asked to be moved to a Cessna 172, which is a high wing and it's a four-seater airplane, so it's a little bit bigger and more spacious. So that was good.
Cool. Uh, so like, do you usually like fly on your own, or is there like somebody else in the second seat if there is one?
So, starting out training, I flew with an instructor on the right side. So, I'm sitting on the left side, which the left seat is more known as like the captain seat or whatnot. Um, so I flew with an instructor for about a year, and in between those times, I could do like solo flights where the instructor would have to endorse my logbook. And that means when he endorses it, that means that he believes that I am proficient enough to fly by myself. So I would just do little flights here and there around the airport. And then further down on my training, I got a cross country endorsement for my solo flight. And that allowed me to go, let's see, I did my cross country to Athens, Georgia, back to Greenwood, and then to Greenville, and that was my solo cross country. So took me about 2.5 hours to do that. It was a little quieter than playing just by myself, but it was fun.
So, like, are there parts of it where you like have? I mean, if you're flying something, you have to like pay a lot of attention to it. But like, do you get to a point where you can just like do it automatically, like when you're like driving or something?
I guess there is a point, but you always have to be watching because as a private pilot, they call it you're under visual flight rules, which is VFR. So it's mostly your responsibility to look and see and avoid other aircraft in the air, just to make sure you don't get on any collision paths or whatnot. But there is a point where you get up to, I guess, your cruising altitude, and it's almost just a straight shot to whichever airport you're going to. And from there, it's making sure you listen to all they call it flight following. So you're talking to all the air traffic controllers through your path to make sure you're all right.
Uh, like for me at least, that seems like super stressful. Like you gotta make sure you're not like hitting people and
Right, but it's helpful to have, they call it the flight following, because they're, I guess you can say, your second pair of eyes. They're looking on the radar, and when they're able, they'll tell you, oh, there's traffic at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Look out for this guy. So they're there to help you out, and it's less stressful to have somebody else watching over you.
yeah. So like, what happens if you do like get on like a what you call it, like a path?
Yeah, so you mean like when if you're on like a crash course or with,
Yeah.
okay. So if you're on a crash course, you want to, if the two airplanes are coming at each other, you want to alter your course to the right. So then you're going to pass them or stay well clear of them. But sometimes, I guess, well, yeah, you just want to make sure you stay well clear of it. Get out of the way. But now I'm starting my flight training. It's called a commercial course, but in that course, they do some instrument work, which is flying with only your instrument panel. So they'll put something called foggles on you, which basically blurs out everything, all the windows, and you only can
Oh,
see your instrument panel. And that's a little scary just flying without ever looking outside, but it's a
so
good exercise.
you can't see where you're going. You could just have like
Right, so that's why you got to rely on all your instruments in the cockpit. So that's when you put on the foggles, that simulates you're flying in the clouds. So when you're flying in clouds, you can't see anything or use landmarks as visual references. You have to be able to look at what your instruments are telling you and make a decision based on that.
hmm, cool. So like with like the on like the panel thing,
Hmm.
what is the most important uh instrument?
Well, they break it down. They have they call it the six pack, which is the core six instruments that you have. So you have your attitude indicator, your VSI, your altimeter, your DG. You have your what's the other one? Turn coordinator and your heading indicator, and all those six helps like the attitude indicator tells you what your plane's doing. So if you're in the clouds and your attitude indicator is turned like this, that means you're turning. So it tells you what your airplane's doing. Like your heading indicator is uh, tells you like what headings to fly, so you know to stay on there. Um, your turn coordinator helps you make sure you're coordinated in turns. So you could be turning and be uncoordinated and cause like stress on the airplane. So that's why you want to look at reference that one. So all the instruments in the cockpit, I'd say, are really, I guess if you combine those, that's most important,
It's all really important.
right?
What would happen if one of those broke?
So I guess it depends on which one you break. Um, you'll still be able to fly and use other instruments as references because they sort of build on each other. So like if your coordinator goes out, you can still use your attitude indicator to see like how many degrees you're pitching or not pitching, turning. So if one fails, you have other options in the cockpit. And that's one of the things that the instructors train you. They'll fail instruments, so they'll either block it out or like the GPS, they're turn it off, and then you have to figure out how can I, with this situation, still maintain the aircraft in a safe, I guess, safe way. So it's a lot of fun and a lot of thinking to do, but once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun.
Cool. So, uh, we talked about flying and a little bit of woodworking. So I guess woodworking was kind of short. So, we're gonna do one more topic that you know about.
Alrighty.
What's another thing that you know about?
Well, I guess I could go on the music side.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
I've been playing the Highland bagpipes for about 5 years now.
Wow.
Um, that's been a lot of fun. That's taken me to a lot of cool places. I got to play on stage with the piano guys. That was
What?
fun at the
That's
Peace
cool.
Center. So I got to meet all the piano guys there. Um, it's taken me to a bunch of Highland games. So that's where you compete in the like band competitions. That's where my whole band comes together, and we'll compete against other bands in the southeast region. Um, and I think it was last year we got the championship place at the Scotland County Highland Games. So that was fun.
Oh. Uh. So like, is it so? What I know about bagpipes is that they're tubes, and you blow into one of the tubes, and you like push a bag.
Right. So I'm trying to think. You have one, two, three, four. You have five pipes, you could call it. You have one that's called a blowpipe, and that's the one that goes into your mouth and you blow it into the bladder, which is the big bag that you see. Um, so you always keep that, I guess, filled with air to make sure you have a constant pressure. And then you have the chanter, which is where your hands go, and it has a total of 9 notes or 9 holes, I could say. Um, and you got there's different fingerings that you can do to get different notes. I guess it's just like a recorder. Um, and then you have your three sets of drones, which are the big pipes on your shoulder. So you have one long one, which is the bass, and it plays the note A, low, low, low A. And then you have two tenors, which play the octave higher than that on the next A. So you have this constant, I guess, humming noise to be accompanied by your chanter, which is fun.
Uh. So does it just always play that note? Or
Right. So the drones always play the note A, either whether it be the octave higher or lower, they all play the same constant note. The only thing that's changing would be your chanter, and then as you get more experienced as a piper, which I still have lots to go, um, you want to try to get your pressure of your pipes, like the air pressure, the same, because you could get like they call it a warbling, and you can hear like your drone sort of going up in pitch and going down in pitch, which that's something you don't want. You just want a constant sound.
so what happens if you run out of breath?
Well, I guess if you run out of breath, that's what the bladder's for. You have about, I'm gonna say, maybe 5 to 6 seconds before you really need to refill it back up with air. So you can take a breath in, I guess, that time. But some pipers I know, um, like me, if I play for a while, I get tired, so I just have to stop and just take a break.
So you want to move on to the random topics?
Alrighty, let's do it.
Okay, so this is this is the weird one. I ran out of paper ones, so I'm just gonna use the website.
Alrighty, alright.
Libraries.
Alright,
Libraries are places where you can get books.
right.
Usually a very good place to read because it's very quiet.
Yeah,
Have you ever? They're like really cool libraries places. Trying to think of one, but I don't know the name.
I remember uh back in the day when I guess I was like third, fourth, fifth grade, we used to go to the library a lot. And that's where we would do like our schoolwork or finish up on schoolwork. I remember we always would go to the computers and play all the little games they have there. So that's fun.
Right.
I haven't been to the library, I guess in 2 years. It's been a while. I guess now with everything being online and different things like Netflix, you don't have to go to get movies or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
libraries are still good to have books you don't have or to be able to use those resources for like a research paper or whatnot.
because of the whole pandemic thing, they're actually
Oh yeah, that's shut down too.
yeah. Apparently right now, like where I am, they're only doing. You can get the books like on hold online, and then you just go there and take them.
Oh cool.
And then when they return them, yet they have to like sterilize everything for a number of days until
Really?
they can actually put them back on the. I mean, I guess they aren't on the shelves. Back
Yeah.
on availableness. I mean, I guess we can talk about books because books are from the library.
Yeah.
Uh, I actually, in the last podcast I did, I talked about my favorite book.
All right.
But I mean, I've already talked about that. So a book I'm reading currently
Mm-hmm.
is it was actually mentioned in also the last podcast. It's the first book of the Wingfeather saga, which apparently everybody likes,
Okay.
and something in the Dark Sea of Darkness.
I don't know. I've never heard that, but you said the white feather
A
something?
Wingfeather saga.
Wing feather. Huh. I'll have to look that one up.
Apparently, they're like really rare because they're always on hold at the library.
Yeah.
But we got one. So yeah, we recently put a hammock swing in our carport.
All right.
It's a really good
That's
place to
cool.
read. I'm only on the first chapter though, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see. What books do I like the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings series. That was a good one.
Uh, never read or seen those, so
Yeah.
they do that. Would you recommend that the book is better?
Um, I don't know. People always say that books are better than the movies, which I guess that's true in some sense, where you get to actually see, or I guess read all
Person
the
wrote.
all the things on it. But I think it's cool to actually have a movie from a book to see, like, to visualize what was going on too. But
that's what I like about movies though, is that you have like a book like Harry Potter. Like
Right.
have a Harry Potter book, then it's like a really good book. Then when they do it in a movie, you can like the people can just like kind of
Right.
like if they
You
can
can
stick,
see what's going on
yeah,
more, I guess, more efficiently than
yeah,
in a book.
like you can stick to the story. Sometimes they just
Right.
don't, which makes it like not good. But
Right.
you can take the story and stick to the story. You can just add your own stuff. Like they did like the wand things, and they can put
Right.
characters like how they wanted to. And yeah, we started watching the Harry Potter series,
All right.
and I think we're on the. I think we watched the second one a few days ago again, and I keep saying again, uh, and it's I think the Goblet of Fire. This is the second one.
All
Or
right.
no, the Sorcerer's Stone is the first one. The Goblet of Fire is the second one. Uh, and there's like the guy with who wrote Magical Me, and it's like has all the crazy hair, and he actually can't do anything.
It's been a while since I watched a Harry Potter. I know those were pretty interesting. I know a bunch of people read the books, so I know that books are a lot of fun and they can be really knowledgeable on things. But
uh, but like you wouldn't make a movie out of like a. I mean, you could, but you wouldn't make a movie out of like a history book though. Like
right, I know there's a bunch of movies though that, well, I don't know, like a historical fiction book. They made
yeah,
some movies out of that, so that was pretty cool.
but like if you went and got a book, I mean, there are movies about presidents, but if you went
Yeah.
and got a book at the library about this president, there's probably a chance that it's not made a movie
Right.
about that book. So that's also a good thing about that because there's information that isn't that isn't.
Right. I guess you could say there are a lot more books than there are movies to tell you
Yeah.
about.
Oh well, I just forgot what I was gonna say. Like there are good, like there are a lot of books,
Right.
and you get knowledge that you wouldn't find anywhere else
Right.
in those. But also, it's like really hard to publish a book, and I think that's what like increases the value of those.
Right.
That this person worked a lot to write it and publish it and like get it all stuff like that, and like get it actually in a library or in stores.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure how long it takes to do movies, but I know book writing is a long, long process.
I mean, like movies also like they're really expensive and they take a long time, but like I think it's like is
I guess
more
books could be more personal.
yeah,
Yes.
it's more. I mean, I'm not speaking from experience because I've never made a movie or written a book.
Me neither.
Uh, but like, I think that it would be more work to write a book. Like, yeah,
Guess so.
possibly. I mean, it really depends on the book and depends on the movie.
Right.
Like movie about like a history movie or something would. I mean, only if it's like a really crazy history movie. A low budget movie would be harder to
Right.
make or easier to make than a really high budget movie.
Right.
Bunch of VFX and all that because the editors have to do a bunch of stuff and like they have to hire directors and actors and all that stuff. But
Hmm.
like with a book, you have to write it, which takes a really long time.
Right.
You have to
And
like
then
come up
you're the one that has to come up with like all the different characters and what they're gonna say and
so
how
you
they
gotta yeah
interact in the story.
basically like fabricate a world from your brain.
Right.
Other than with a movie, you just already have that made and you can just make it.
Hmm.
uh, Not saying that there isn't a really big process to make a movie, just like once you actually write a book, then you have to send it to editors and publishers, and they have to
Right.
they're editors, and they have to edit the book, and they send it back to you, and you edit it and whatever. And then when they get through all that, there's like a publisher, I think. Uh, then they publish it.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, seems that would be very hard to do.
Yeah.
I've tried. Actually, I'm actually writing kind of a short story.
Mhm.
Uh, how many pages is it? It's I think it's I've got here it is. It's kind of like a fantasy thing.
All right.
I have can't scroll with one thumb. I have 4 chapters so far, except
Okay.
each chapter is 1.5 pages.
All right.
Uh, so this is you can see it better,
Oh wow. I must have taken some time.
but it's only like 1,911 words, which
Okay.
if you say it like that, it doesn't sound like a lot because yeah, just
Right.
when you add all the formatting and spacing,
Right.
it's just only a few pages.
So what's the story plot behind, or is it still secret right now?
I guess I could say it. So I'm not really sure because I'm just kind of making it up as I go. I don't
Yeah.
have a plot yet, but so far what's happened is there's this guy and there's 2 guys. Uh, what's his name? I need to reference my book here. It's not a book yet. Landon. Uh, Landon is the first guy, which is kind of like the main character. And it's actually coincidence that all of their names started with L.
Mhm.
And then Lucas. Wait, no, Lucas is the main character. Landon's the second. Yeah. Uh, and it's kind of like a futuristic thing, but also fantasy. So
Mhm.
Landon works for. Did I change it to president or did I keep it king? I'm not sure. Either a president or a king of
Okay.
the the city. What is the city called?
So is it like a modern or like where's the time set? Like is it back in medieval times or is
it's
it
kind of like a futuristic thing.
future? All right.
So
Pretty cool.
there is. So what I know about it so far is, I mean, it kind of sounds weird if I say it like that because I'm writing it, but what I have in my brain so far is evil people are Mauvians, uh,
Okay.
and all these weird words and stuff actually mean things,
Mhm.
like in French. So I just translated like bad in French, and it's Mauvain, and I'm like Mauvians or whatever. I'm not sure how
That's
to say
cool.
it still, but yeah,
Right. That's pretty cool. That's really creative that you try to get all that in there.
like people who are French just like are really confused. So those are the bad people. They're like
Okay.
villains, and actually the name of the book I'm not sure yet, but the draft name is Cloud Striders, and the Cloud Striders are
Oh,
actually
cool.
like the good people.
Right.
And I kind of got this idea. So I was watching Doctor Strange. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I said that. That's a. I think Doctor Strange is one of my favorite Avengers.
Yeah, me too. Uh, I was watching the Doctor Strange movie, and which is great. Uh, and there's this guy with these boots. I think it's like the guy who trained him
Okay.
with the boots, and it had some crazy name because it's a Marvel movie. Like everything has a
Right.
crazy name. Uh, and it looked like when you step, like if this was the ground, you could step like that, and it would put a platform under your foot,
Oh,
you can just
cool.
walk up.
Like an invisible staircase.
Yeah. So that's what I kind of got the idea from. I'm like, I could just change it a little bit so it's not as similar to that,
Right.
and so I wouldn't be stealing the idea. I could just kind of base that my idea on that idea.
Right.
So there are these people that are like a secret. It's like a legend that they exist. Like nobody believes they exist, but some people do. And Lucas is one of those people who actually believe they exist. Landon doesn't, but Lucas does. Uh, and the what happens in the first chapter is they break in to Landon's house. I think Lucas is staying with Landon. I'm still not sure about that. Uh, but they Mauvians
Yeah.
break into Landon's house, and they just kind of like they capture Lucas, except he's confused because like why didn't they capture Landon, because he's
Right.
actually like the important one.
Right.
They captured him, and I don't know that yet. I just I don't know why they captured Lucas, but I'm
Right.
gonna figure that out as I go. Like, uh,
So
so
would you say you're writing this book, I guess, just by chapter, and not have like
yeah,
a broad scope of it? That's cool. Because that way you can like sort of change what you want to do and
yeah.
fix it up to the way that you like it.
But one thing that I really want to do is I want to have a guy, and I've already started this. I'm not going to say anything about that, but I want to. There's a there's a guy, and I want to like build up a lot of trust with that guy,
Mm-hmm.
and then like near the end, I just want to. Oh, he actually betrayed you, and he's evil now. Except he was always evil. Like,
Right.
yeah. Seems like a really. It seems like a really mean thing to do, but it would be a really cool
Yeah.
story.
That would be cool.
They captured Lucas, and they took him to like a hallway or something, which is
Mm-hmm.
their base. Uh, then the Cloud Striders saved him, and they take him to their uh, like hideout thing because they're undercover
Right.
because they don't want people to know that they exist yet.
Okay.
So it's like an undercover base thing, except when you go inside, it's like really really big.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Is it? I think it's underground. Uh, so yeah.
That's cool.
That's really all I can say.
Well, I don't want to take any spoilers out, so I'm not sure if this is a good secret book trying to unveil.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I only got 4 chapters, or 3 chapters actually. The fourth
All
one is
right.
the title. So yeah. Oh wait, actually, in the third chapter, the Movians
Yeah.
find the Cloud Strider base, and
Oh, that's not good.
so Lucas and actually Lucas found Landon
Mm-hmm.
somehow, uh, and there's a secret tunnel that goes like to the back of the building or like far away,
Right.
like a forest or something. So yeah, that's how they escape. Except then Lucas just wants to go and fight them anyway. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, but like I was kind of struggling how to name people,
Right.
Class Riders, because I just want to like I want to differentiate
Yeah.
them from other ones because they all look identical.
Right.
So I'm like, I got it. So I'll put so each Cloud Strider has like their silver kind of armor thing,
Hmm.
uh, and they have on it on like the chest plate piece, they have like an animal or something,
Right.
and so the Cloud Strider that rescued uh, Lucas has a wildcat, so I just called him Wildcat.
All right.
There's a Wildcat right now, and then there's Raven, which is like a raven. Uh,
Right.
that's really the only two, and then all of them are just extras.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all I
Pretty cool.
wrote so far. Is there any? Actually, you want to go to the next topic?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Engineering. Oh,
Engineering.
I have no idea. I have no knowledge of engineering.
Well, let's see.
If it's too short, we can just do another one.
I found out. All right. I'm cheating a little bit and using a little bit of the internet.
Oh, you're supposed to do that. That's fine.
All right. So apparently, according to this website, there are like 6 major branches of engineering.
Oh,
There's mechanical, chemical, civil, electrical, management, and geotechnical, and literally hundreds of different subcategories of engineering under each branch. Well, I know there's something called construction engineering, which that's what I plan on going into.
oh,
And that's basically, I think what it is, which I guess I should know what it is since I'm going to go into it for college. It's like planning out your buildings, like airports or
oh,
railroads,
yeah.
bridges, and figuring out all the different, I guess, how to build it and what the best structures are and supports or whatnot. That's
I've always been interested in like stuff like that, like architecture is pretty
yeah,
cool. You can like design buildings, like that's pretty cool.
right. I
Usually,
guess there's a lot of thought process that goes into it. I guess that's why
yeah,
you get this degree to figure out what do I need, what's all the different like materials I need, what are
yeah.
the all the angles that I have to figure out. 'Cause
So
I guess building a building is a long process,
yeah, so,
and
like
there's a lot going up around Greenville too. So that's pretty cool to
oh
see
yeah,
all these new buildings coming up.
the like what I really want to do if I like have to fix something is either film or music
Yeah,
because those are the two main things currently that uh, I'm doing the most.
right.
Uh, this is my studio. Actually, I have a studio now. So I found sheet music for actually. So it's a really good song, except right now it's kind of a meme.
All right.
Uh, it's Fireflies by Owl City, which
Okay.
is it's a great song, except for some reason they just decided to make it a meme now.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like it was made in like 2006 or something,
Mhm.
and 2020 it's a meme now. Okay, uh, but I found sheet music for it,
That's pretty cool.
and I want to play it, but it's $10 for sheet music. That seems like kind of expensive.
Really. Wow.
Ask the piano teacher. I'm like, is $10 a reasonable price for like sheet music? She's like, no. I'm like, okay, find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fun. Also, I actually wait. Oh wait, I don't have any plugs anymore. Okay. Well, I am teaching myself how to do the how to play the Wii music theme
All right. Yeah.
on piano.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, it's a little weird, but
I bet it sounds pretty cool.
yeah, I'm I always start with like a super simplified version, which just
Yeah.
one note.
Right.
And then once I get that, I can go on to like the background chords.
Right, just to build upon the
Yeah.
base foundation. That's pretty cool.
Except I've only done the one note thing. so so
Well, that's
far.
all right. That's how I think everybody should start off.
Um, I think that was kind of a short one because we kind of just talked about piano instead of engineering. So it's good though. Yeah, content. Uh, so you want to do two more after this or
Sure.
yeah? Uh, yeah. Presentations.
That's something that I sorta, not really. I think I've only had to do two presentations. One was my freshman year in high school. No, well, I've done a lot more than that. Never mind, take that back. But I don't like presentations because you're getting up and, well, I like preparing it. It was fun. I got to learn how to do PowerPoint and learn how to do all the different like animations and transitions and effects you do on PowerPoint. So that was fun. Um, and then I recently took a class at Greenville Tech, and it went in more depth in PowerPoint presentations and how to do all these cool, like, to make it look really cool. But then I guess once you prepare all that and it's time for you to get up there, it's a whole different story because you like practice what you're gonna say and then figure out your whole, I guess, speech or skit or whatnot. And then once you get up there in front of everybody and everybody's staring at you, it's just like you forget everything and you sort of have to make a new thing up on your own. But it's all right. It's a good learning experience.
I've only done. I haven't done like an official presentation. I have
Yeah.
done one at co-op. Oh wait, no, I haven't. I was going to do one at co-op, except then they canceled it
Uh,
for obvious reasons.
right.
Uh, so yeah, I just I probably have done one before, except I wasn't in front of like a really big crowd of people
Right.
or like a class or something. Because I'm homeschooled, yay. So yeah, I haven't really done a lot of those. Uh, but I have made them before.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I usually use Keynote
Right.
because it's just super like accessible.
Right.
It's like it's everywhere. It's in the iCloud. Wow. So yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever used PowerPoint before though.
All right.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've used is only PowerPoint, and I haven't tried any other presentation softwares or things. But I got like I think they call it like a Microsoft package or whatnot. So it came with like
Yeah.
Microsoft Word and Access and PowerPoint. So always fun to use. And it's fun to play on there because they have a bunch of cool different little things that you can add to your presentation to make it look cool, like lines or exits or whatnot.
Uh, there's another cool thing on Keynote that I've done is they have like these transitions and stuff,
Yeah,
and you can make things like explode into confetti. And
yeah.
I'm like, what is the use case of this?
I don't know, but it's really cool once you get it and put it all together and see what you created. It's pretty cool.
So I guess do one more topic.
Alrighty.
What I just, the random noun generator I use to generate topics generated topic.
That's funny.
Dinners. That's an interesting one.
What is it?
Dinner.
Dinner?
Yeah.
All right.
I was
Well,
about to say, what did you have for dinner? But it's not. It's like I
we
haven't even
haven't
had
had that
breakfast
yet.
yet. And I'm at
Well, let's
school.
see. What's something I can talk about dinner? Oh, well, I did. Okay, so I've never been much of a cook, but I went to my grandma's house, what was it? Last year, and she taught me how to cook one of her famous meals that she cooks for all our, I guess, family gatherings or whatnot. But it was really cool because now I came home and I tried it out, and it tasted pretty good. It wasn't exactly like hers, but it was pretty close.
Uh, I think yesterday for dinner we had potatoes, like not baked potatoes, but they're like potatoes that in like pieces,
Right?
and you bake them.
Oh, that's cool.
Put like I like to put like this uh Lowry
Right?
salt. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we actually yesterday we were talking about potatoes a lot. So I had a baseball game yesterday, and I was in the dugout for quite some time. So me and this one other kid, I think he's like 6 or 7, but we talked about how to make waffle fries. So we sort of sat on that subject a while. So we were trying to figure out,
Waffle fries.
well, how do they make waffle fries? And then he was
How do
talking
they make
like,
waffle fries?
I don't know, but he's like, I think he was a little young and didn't understand that waffle fries aren't really like the actual waffle. So he's like,
Yeah.
well, we should try to figure out how to liquefy potatoes and then put them in a waffle maker and then make them. So
Yeah.
then I think we eventually came up with, it was, you make mashed potatoes,
Oh.
mix
Just
it
put them in
with
a
like,
waffle maker.
mix it with waffle mix and then put it in the waffle maker.
We should actually try that though. That'd be
I
cool.
don't know. He said you should try it because we have another game tomorrow. So he's like, you got to make it before tomorrow and bring it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know about that. But that's
Too
what we
close
came
there.
up with. You got to mashed potatoes, then put them in your waffle maker. And see what that does. I'm not sure how that would work, but
I
we'll
mean,
see.
waffle or mashed potatoes are kind of thick for a waffle maker.
Yeah.
They're already baked. So what if you double bake them? Would it become double baked mashed potatoes
I don't know.
and waffle mix?
You got to. I guess I got to try it out sometime.
Yeah. What was the topic? I forgot the topic
Dinner.
already. Dinner. Yes. I think a good dinner, like my favorite dinner, is
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot of favorite dinners. I have lots of favorite lunches. Lunches are great.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite dinner is oh, what is it? What is my favorite dinner? I don't know. I've never thought about that.
Well, mine's probably got to be my mom's pot roast, and she makes this really good gravy with it.
Yeah.
And then she has it with like these uh what is it, carrots that are like glazed in like brown sugar, and then mashed potatoes, and that's always really good.
My dad like did keto for a little bit, and for people who don't know what keto is, it's a thing where uh you can't eat carbs at all.
Okay.
You can only eat vegetables and meat.
Oh
So
wow.
like he ate a lot of salads, and every night he's been cooking out meat for on like
All
on
right.
Saturdays, and
Right.
well, we always cook out meat on Saturdays, but I think the best kind of dinner meat is I mean, when else do you have meat? Do you have meat at lunch? I don't like
Oh, you could, I guess, like lunch meats, like
lunch meat, yeah.
sandwiches.
But like when you
Um.
actually grill something,
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's usually
Well, we had like chicken wings sometimes that we. That's like chicken.
uh
That's.
yeah.
But we would have like what is it, tacos for lunch. That would just be like
I guess that counts.
the meat, taco meat.
My favorite one is they're like I forgot what they're called. They're it's either hamburger steak, I think,
Oh, those are good. I like those.
where it's like a hamburger and it's like you get like a thing and you make it yourself
Right?
and it's like really thick and juicy and it's really good.
Yeah. We had those. I think it was last week. Those are really good.
Yeah. Uh like 2 days ago, I went to a somebody had a birthday, and I
Hmm.
went, and his dad made these burgers that had cheese and bacon like infused into the burger,
Oh,
and it was
cool. I bet
so
those are good.
amazing. Yeah, it was really
Wow. I'll have to try that. I bet that's really good.
yeah.
But we have, it's not really, it's more what we call it dinner. But on Sundays, we have like 3 sets of dinners that we normally have. Like, and we alternate between each Sunday. So, like, one Sunday we'll have spaghetti, which I guess that can be broken up into a subcategory where dad only likes his spaghetti with like the meat sauce instead of meatballs.
Yeah.
So we have like a little debate over that, which one's better. But I think I like the meat sauce better than the actual meatballs. And then
Yeah,
if
I
we
was
don't have yeah, go ahead.
if we had spaghetti, then I would have meat sauce with the spaghetti. But if we had meatballs, I'd just eat the meatballs alone
Yeah,
because those are like their own thing.
right.
So yeah,
And then I guess if we don't have spaghetti on Sunday, then it's either something called Italian chicken, which is like chicken that mom puts with like this special Italian sauce, and then we have it with rice and what do we eat it with? Corn. That's what we do.
oh,
And if we don't have all those, then it's roast, and that's what we would get like pot roast. So it's alternating between the three Sunday meals. And it's funny if she forgets like to turn on the crock pot or something, we get Bojangles as a substitute.
ah, I've only eaten Bojangles like once
Yeah, I don't. We don't go there regularly. It's only if we forget to turn on the crock pot. That's the only time we really go.
because I went once because I'd gone fishing with Josh, which was on the podcast also.
Hmm.
Uh, and everybody was like really hungry, so everybody was like really hungry.
Yeah.
So I think like everybody we got like after breakfast, but nobody ate breakfast.
Yeah.
Breakfast time like in the morning. I could have
Right.
morning. That'll be a lot better. And I think we did all the way until after lunch or something.
Okay. Wow.
So really long time. I got really sunburned.
Oh man.
uh, and so we just went got Bojangles, and oh wait, actually, there's another time I had Bojangles was at a wedding. It's actually the same
Okay.
wedding I got that speaker from. Uh,
Huh.
and
The catered Bojangles.
no, just before that wedding actually started,
Oh, okay.
everybody was really hungry, and
Yeah.
yeah, I actually didn't eat a lot because my
Oh.
braces were they just put braces on the bottom, like
Yeah.
new ones, and they were super sore. Like I couldn't move them at all.
Hmm.
So like I ate a few bites of a biscuit. I ate a
Their
lot of
biscuits are
macaroni.
really good though. I like
Yeah, they
those.
are amazing. Uh, I ate a lot of macaroni that week.
Yeah, their macaroni's good too.
Also, lunches. Just gonna kind of add that in there.
Yeah.
Lunches. I think my favorite lunch is either macaroni or
Okay.
uh, what are they called? Tater tots. Those are really
Alrighty. Those are good.
good. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of mine. I can't remember the word for it. Uh, what is it called? I think it's like Philly cheesesteaks.
Ooh.
Those are good. I had those, I think, for the first time. My aunt came over and she made those for lunch. I was like, oh, I like these.
Never had them, but they look really good.
Yeah. And she had like the cheese. I don't know. I forgot what kind of cheese. Some kind of special cheese, but she put it on top and put it in the oven. And it's just like oozing down. It tasted really good.
Cool. Yeah, those sound really good.
And I guess the other one would be like a grilled roast beef sandwich. I like that.
Pretty good too.
They're pretty good.
They have good lunches. I bet like people who are listening just like have like a notepad. They're like, the Tuesday.
That's funny.
Write down these lunches.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talked about planes or
Yeah.
woodworking, planes, flying them, bagpipes,
Yeah.
sort of piano, sort of engineering, and
Own books, libraries. We did libraries.
and books too. So yeah, thanks for listening to this episode of podcast, and see you in the next podcast. Bye.
Bye.